Hi, everybody. This is Paul Hitchcock with David Calderon. Thanks for jumping on Wealth Protector TV. You might be listening to this on Wealth Protector Radio, and really excited to have my colleague David Calderon here, who is one of our expert attorneys at the firm in asset protection business planning. And David, let's just jump right into it, because you and I were talking a bit offline, and you had a great comment for business owners in saying that now is a good time for self-reflection, coming out of dealing with the crisis and all of that. So can you jump into some of the best practices that owners should be looking at right now and focused on?
Oh, most certainly, and thanks for having me, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. With every bad time or every troubling time comes a window of opportunity for folks who are ready to seize it. And this is the perfect time to reflect on not only yourself, your personal asset protection, the things you have in place to protect your personal wealth and the things that you've accumulated, protect your family, but also your business is an extension of that. To take a look and do a checkup, a tune-up on all of your business structures, your contracts, your relationships with the vendors and the other people that you use that are critical and essential to the business that you have. To take a look at the arrangements that you may have with your partners or fellow members in a limited liability company or shareholders in a closely held corporation, to see what kind of buy, sell, and exit arrangements that you have with the people that you're married to in business.
And David, let me ask you a quick question on the buy-sell is, what would be changing with buy-sells right now? Is it, valuations of companies are changing, either, getting better or not? I mean, what is the issue with the buy-sell?
Well, the pandemic is definitely affecting valuations, especially in industries that are incredibly, hard hit by the pandemic, like retail, restaurants, hospitality, service. I know a lot of our clients are franchise businesses. The valuations in those businesses are taking a hit, but there are things that you can do within the context of a buy-sell agreement to account for the pandemic or account for future pandemic issues and things that may affect the business. Or you may have an owner of the business who's particularly hard hit or not rich from a capital perspective, who has an inordinate share of the burden that comes from the financial hit of issues like this. And you can account for things in a buy-sell agreement where everybody's interests are protected and the business can continue and move along and sell well even in rocky seas like we have right now.
Yeah, no, love it. It's a great comment on the buy-sells. And then the other issue you'd kind of mentioned offline also is, going forward, business continuity. Business owners are looking at issues like personal guarantees. And, we've had people calling up saying, hey, I have this guarantee, the business has gone south, what's going on? So what's the issue around the personal guarantees and how it relates to asset protection?
Well, a personal guarantee is when you basically guarantee the financial obligation of someone else. We have a lot of cases where businesses may lease retail space or restaurant space, commercial space, and they have a company that they've set up to run the business, but the landlord may still require a personal guarantee, meaning that the actual owners of the business have to put their own assets on the line personally in case the business falls apart or falls through. And that's fairly typical and fairly standard in a lot of commercial leasing arrangements. So the problem we have now is that a lot of these businesses are incredibly hard hit with the pandemic issues, other unrest we're having in the country, and they run into situations where they can't pay their rent. So the landlord's going to turn around and look at the personal guarantors to make good on the lease obligations. And if you're in year 2 of a 5-year lease, you're talking about a personal guarantor perhaps being on the hook for 3 years of rent or thereabouts. Right. So it's a big issue, and landlords are not going to be able to backfill spaces and mitigate and limit those damages like as easily as they could have in the past because of the issues that we're facing right now. And there's going to be an onslaught of landlord-tenant litigation that takes place both residentially and commercially at the end of the pandemic cycle, because the government's been basically putting a hold or a moratorium on all of that. And it's going to kind of hit like a financial tsunami. So now's a good time to talk to asset protection professionals to see how you could perhaps structure your assets and your holdings to perhaps leverage better negotiation positions to extract yourself from personal guarantees and situations that may cause you financial harm in addition to health harm with pandemic issues and what have you.
Yeah, and I've heard you say before that in normal times, asset protection is an important component of a business owner's overall planning. In particular, right now with the unrest going on and the potential flood of litigation, I imagine that getting your ducks in a row with asset protection, understanding what it is, how it applies to you, both on the business and personal side, is rather important right now.
It's not just important, it's absolutely essential. As we started off, we're in a time where we're in a perfect environment for self-reflection and to figure out the lay of the land and how we use this time to set ourselves up for not only current survival, but future success. And I think it's absolutely essential to the point of perhaps being negligent if you don't think about it, really. You need to
Right.
look at your asset protection structures as a major component of your business planning going forward.
Yeah, because it's kind of you've got employees, that you're taking care of, you've got your family, and even if your business doesn't have to be struggling, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you've got a growth mindset, your business is maybe it's doing well, it's still important to have all those pieces in place.
Absolutely, and honestly, the best time to do asset protection planning, the best time to do a checkup on the health of your business is when the seas are calm. When there may be storms on the horizon. That's the best time to look at what you have and to set yourself up to protect yourself, protect your employees, and even more so, protect yourself, protect your family, right? In the event that the seas are not so calm down the road or later on.
Yeah, love it, David. Great input, and it's a great reminder for anyone running a business to really make sure to take a look at this. So thanks for joining. I will have you on again, and thanks everybody for listening or watching. Always appreciate it.
Without a doubt. Thanks a lot, Paul. Appreciate it.